Hey, what's up? Welcome to the channel. So I thought I'd be doing live streams every Sunday, as you can see here at 9 p.m. Eastern, and just to go over some ideas that I have, some trade thoughts on stocks. And yeah, so welcome to the channel. I'm not really new to streaming, but new to doing it on this channel. DGen Ed, Degenerative Education. So yeah, I'm going to go over the stocks that are listed up there. And if you're not watching this live, I will put chapters below or timestamps so you can get directly to your stock of interest. And I'm also going to be going over buy criteria that I just kind of thought I'd put together over the past week. And yeah, I'm excited to see if that works out well or if it's just a terrible idea. I really have no idea. And on that note, I should point out that on this channel, no financial advice. It's just me kind of, documenting what I'm doing, trying to have fun with the streaming setup that I have. And yeah, just get more comfortable with this stuff and get myself better prepared for each week. And so yeah, whether you're joining live or catching this later, drop a comment or throw an emoji or something in the live chat. Just nice to engage with people on here. And if you do have any ticker requests, right there, I don't know, all the way. Now my window's cut off. You can see ticker requests are welcome. So yeah, and yeah, so I guess what I'm going to start with is just kind of one slide that goes over my buy criteria that I just kind of put together over the past couple of days. And so basically what I'm considering for that is there a gap or some target up above, some resistance that I could see the stock heading towards? And the idea for this is not to, diamond hand positions, hold for really long term, but to try to identify the bottom, excuse me, and from that, then go to whatever the target is. And also considering the 52-week range over the past year, what's the lowest the stock's been, what's the highest it's been. Not that I expect it to stay within that range, but just to give me an idea of what the risk to reward is in that sense, how close we are to the bottom versus the top. Also considering the relative strength index, or the RSI. I haven't really been paying attention to that lately, or for a while. And just recently, I started to look at that and thinking, whenever I open up a position, I should get it, open the position when the RSI is super low, and plan to use that as, part of the target exit strategy. And then also considering short interest and covered calls. One of the things that's been useful for me for probably the last year or so has just been building up positions to at least 100 shares, selling a covered call every week to make a little bit of money to hold either for the long term or the shorter term, the position, but just to make a little bit of money while I hold, considering the max pain. So ideally setting a strike price higher than max pain, so I hold on to the shares but make a little bit of money while doing it. And then also just considering analyst sentiment, and I'm just using Webull, so whatever the analysts think on that platform, consider that in my buy criteria. And then also technical analysis to identify support, and then again the target area's resistance. And a lot of that comes from what I've learned from watching other YouTube channels, listening to other people go over the basics of trading and stuff like that. And one person who's been really a good instructor in that sense is Gareth Soloway and his Verified Investing. I don't know if it's his channel or Verified Investing's channel, but I do go over a couple of stocks that I learned about from him. And so I'm going to go from here into Webull so we can look at some of the stocks that I have in that list. And so all of the stocks should be, listed on the left there. And but before I get into Webull, I'm going to take us over to a spreadsheet that I made with the buy criteria, so we can kind of go over the levels that I identified and draw them up here. And yeah, so hopefully this will get not only me better prepared for the week, but hopefully also maybe give you some ideas. And if you have some, feel free to share them in the live chat. But yeah, so I'm going to switch over to Excel. So this is my not super fancy spreadsheet, kind of zoomed in there, showing, let's see, the stocks these are ones that I'm currently holding, and then these are just on a list for a little comparison, kind of trying out this buy criteria calculation that I have, which is super rough. I just I think I just put it together yesterday morning. I had a very initial idea, and it's like, I'll work out the math for it. But yeah, there are, I think, 5 different criteria that go into it, and they're effectively weighted slightly differently, but each one is or has different aspects of it that are weighed differently. But yeah, so the first stock on this list is American Airlines, AAL, which I was notified about by Gareth Soloway. It's a really cool chart. And yeah, this is the closing price, market cap, and volume from close Friday. And yeah, so with the price at around $12.76, and I identified a gap up to 14.08, and so to fill that gap, it'd be about a 10% move. And so yeah, I'll just take you over the chart so we can kind of look at American Airlines a little closer. All right, yeah, so this is American Airlines, AAL, with the hourly chart. But, for this, I'm actually going to switch to the monthly real quick because there's this really nice trend line or level of support that we're at that, I don't want a horizontal array. I want array. Okay, so, yeah, just coming down to this point over here, it's at $1.41. Let's see, I'll get that right on there. And then coming up to these levels, let's see, I'm just going to see how precisely, okay, I got that one right on the tip there. And this one, yeah, right on the tip of that one there. Okay, and so from that, we can see it looks like I'm actually going to adjust this a tiny bit. But let's see. Let's do this one there. Yeah, so zoom out again. We got these two anchor points there at the tips of the candles. And if we look, this is, the month so far, we are above that trend line. And so that, as of right now, is serving as support. Possibly we could break below it. But I should also note that this low over here, man, that was 2008. And then there's this other low here that was the COVID lows on March, pandemic lows. So this, trend line that's been there for, 2 collapses and served as support, and that's where we're at now. So this seems like a great time to be entering. But, if we look at daily chart, I'll maybe go back to the weekly first. Looking at that, still, above that line just a little bit. And got the RSI is around 35, so close to 30, but not there quite yet. But on the daily, it did dip down to below 30. So this, with 30 RSI being part of my buy criteria, this has met that. So it seems like it's kind of in the buy zone, but we'll see. And then I said that there is a gap to fill up to 1408, so that's going to be let's see, yeah, so that would be this, 1408, that gap there. So I'm just going to put a horizontal line based on that, and yeah, and I'll actually change that color. Let's see, and I want to make these apply to default. I want to keep them all that yellow color. It's easy to see. All right, yeah. So, that's what I'm looking at, hoping that this bottom line serves as support, and then to close my position probably below 14, just in case it doesn't go all the way to 14. And so, that's my goal with this, to go up there. And yeah, so now I'll go over to the next stock, which I believe is ChargePoint, but I'll just check that on the spreadsheet. Yeah, ChargePoint. Oh, and I should note too that with these here, green means that I'm holding it and it's in the green currently. Red means I'm holding it and it's in the red. So ChargePoint is down a little bit, but I think it's really interesting. It's probably the best stock as far as my criteria goes, which is probably just BS. But maybe there's something to it. And so yeah, let's look at ChargePoint, price at about 430, and the gap up is to about $7, and that's a fill of 60% or so, a gain of about 60%. So that's pretty nice. And yeah, but yeah, we'll see what it looks like here. So the support that I have for this is no support. It's never been this low before. The lowest it's been, it looks like, is about $4.05. But if you look at the RSI on the daily, it's below 30, oversold. This is on the weekly, actually. Daily also below 30. So this to me seems like it's pretty oversold. Probably, hopefully, going to get to some support at some point, or I should say develop some support before perhaps bouncing to fill this gap up here. So yeah, I'm just going to put a horizontal line, let's see, right at the bottom there. And this gap is going to be to about $7.04. So yeah, if it were to fill up to here, that would be great. And that would be a really nice gain. It may not go that high. It's possible. Let's see. There's a little gap here. So this the high of this 470, the low of this candle, 471. So there's like a 1 cent gap between these two candles. Maybe that's the gap that gets filled. But I think everything's pretty low with this. And also, if you look at the let's see, the feeds. Actually, I don't know how to check the chat on the desktop. But yeah, I checked that earlier, and it seemed like there's a good amount of kind of negative sentiment around ChargePoint, and so is that good to be with the sheep and just think this is crap, or maybe recognize that, hey, maybe this is a good buying opportunity? No idea. It's probably crap, but it's intriguing because it's never been this low. You don't want to buy things when they've never been that high, or you're going to lose money that way. And so. And this is interesting to me. Let's see. Yeah, I'll come back to the spreadsheet. The next one is Chewy. That has a current price of $18.75. And the upside target would be about a 30% gain. So, yeah, not as good as ChargePoint from that perspective, but better than American Airlines. But yeah, so let's look at the chart over here. Chewy. Yeah, so let's see. Has it ever been this low before? No. The RSI on the weekly, as well as the daily, just broke above, almost, right around 30. So, this suggests to me that it's oversold. And, with the weekly RSI being below 30, and let's see, with monthly, that's 37. So that's pretty low. It hasn't been much lower than that. It has never been below 30. So could this go lower? Yeah, probably. Will it? Probably. But it does seem like it's low. So there's less risk in that sense. Got that line there. Around 730. I should probably move it up to be 751. So that's the low. And let's see, what was the gap to fill? 24.29. Let's see, 24.29. This is on the weekly. Change to the monthly. or the daily, sorry. Let's see. I guess, yeah, this is probably the gap I was going for. Small gap, but there is a gap there. I'd imagine this gap would be filled as well, but, maybe not. Maybe that's a way to, think that, it's going to head there, and then you lose out. Your position doesn't get filled. So yeah, that's the gap that I identified. And so let's see, that's 30%. Yeah, so I mean, it's not the best, but that'd be pretty great. I'd take that. And yeah, and then so I'll go over the next one that's on the list. LAZR, Luminar Technologies. I should note $4.30 current price. Gap up is to $4.73 with a 10% gain for the fill when that target was hit, if that target were to be hit. So let's go over here to Luminar, and yeah, so let's see, where's the support for this? I'm going to draw a ray from this low here to probably right there. Move this a little bit to be bottom of that candle. So yeah, maybe that's support, maybe that's crap, who knows. But it's right around there. A few days ago, the RSI was below 35, going as low as 18.3. So that's probably pretty oversold there, I would think. However, of course, it could go lower. Who knows? On the weekly, it's slightly above 30, about 34. But yeah, look at that nice possible line of support that was formed based on this low earlier in the year, at the beginning of the year. And so, yeah, maybe we're at support with that. What's the upside for this? Maybe to the 50-day moving average around 6.5. But what I did, that's the weekly moving average, so 5.5 for the daily. And so, yeah, looking up at that, that's a potential, whatever that average goes to, if it goes lower or higher in the next couple weeks, months, that could be the target. But I identified a gap to be filled at 473. So it's might be this. Yeah, so that would be that candle. Yeah, with the low there. So yeah, that seems pretty conservative. It seems pretty conservative. I could see this going a lot higher, but I could also see it going lower. So I don't know. That's what I think about that one. And come back to the spreadsheet and kind of go over some of the things that went into this. And yeah, so here the target, that's just kind of based on my technical analysis. Is there a gap there, or is there some resistance? I believe BNGO that's over here. I believe that is based on resistance or prior support. But for these four up here, all based on kind of technical analysis, looking for gaps. And then 52-week range, considering what the risk is if it were to go to the low of the year, the reward if it would go to the high of the year. And so based on this criteria, charge points the winner as far as the risk versus reward. And actually, I calculated that kind of separately. Each one of these is their own factor, but I should really do that as what is the risk versus the reward, rather than what's the risk and what's the reward. So I probably want to adjust that calculation for next week. But yeah, so so far, charge point as far as target fill and the risk to reward, it's the best of these four. If I'm to look at the RSI, it's the only one. Is it the only one? Yeah, it's the only one that has both as of close Friday to both be in the green, both be below 30. And then shorts and covered calls. So just considering short interest, if there's a lot of short interest, could serve as a spring for the stock to coil up, launch from that. And so this has the most short interest, about 6 days before it needs to be covered. So, maybe that could factor into some upward motion, but maybe, it could just be beaten down more. Options are weekly. So if I were to accumulate 100 shares or more, I could then be making a little bit of money, maybe like $5 or a couple bucks a week, selling covered call. And, if I were to get 100 of any of these stocks, it would be cheapest for me to get ChargePoint, just because it's actually cheapest to get ChargePoint or Luminar. So that's a factor. And then considering what the max pain is for the weekly calls, max pain would result in ChargePoint going up by 16% if it were to close at max pain. Whereas with Chewy, max pain is lower than the current price, so it would then have to go down. So that's not as appealing as something that based on max pain would be going up. And then let's see what's next. Next is based on analysis. Maybe I have this too zoomed in, so we can, let's see, get all of this analysis in there. Yeah, I got that all fit in there. Might do it once more though. Okay, yeah. So for the analysis of these stocks, the recommendation of analysts for all of them except for American Airlines is to buy, with American being a hold. And then I have the number of analysts. So if there's a lot of attention on this stock, it's probably a little bit more secure than one that doesn't have many people looking at it, many analysts looking at it. Although, the analysts could just be completely full of shit. I don't really know. I'm not looking into it that deeply, but just to get an idea of, what others are thinking about the stock. And, then also just considering the min and max targets, what kind of decline that would be in the price of the stock versus what kind of gains there would be. And so with this, American and Luminar, the low targets are below the current price, so not as appealing as ChargePoint and Chewy, but ChargePoint is much lower at its current price than the minimum price from analysts. So, it seems like there's potentially a good amount of upside there. It's really beaten down, so it kind of makes sense. It's never been as low as it is right now, so upside potential. And then this is kind of, I guess, this is all BS. I have no idea. I'm going to definitely have to tweak how I do this calculation, because, even just doing this stream, I'm recognizing that I could be doing this better, some of the calculations better. But the confidence based on these four is that ChargePoint seems like it's in a better position for buying, whereas, American and Chewy, especially because I'm slightly in the green with them, they, I probably shouldn't be buying them. I should probably be thinking about selling them at some point. And so I haven't put together my sell criteria. It's possible I have like some empty box on the side. Yeah, it would be based on, like the RSI being above 50. So, maybe it doesn't go all the way up to 70 or above. But, whatever this upward move would be, if the daily RSI is not above 50, I should try to hold on to that position until it does really seem like it's overbought. And then I should sell it. Once the gap has been filled, of course, or met that resistance, or, if I sell a covered call and it closes in the money, then, I have to get rid of the stock. So unless I have more than 100 shares, an odd number of shares, then, I can keep some of it. But yeah, I feel like those are my main sell criteria. I probably need to have something for the downside if the trade doesn't work the way that I was thinking it would. But, I'll have to figure that out. This is all just me playing around with it, kind of, serving as like my trading journal. But yeah, I'm just going to get into these, stocks for this week. I basically want to look up these because they popped up in my alerts. Recently, I've turned off pretty much all of my alerts. Some came through that, just target price hadn't been hit on the way down. And yeah, these all hit that. So thought we'd take a look at them. And so, yeah, the first one is, I believe, it might have changed its name. I learned about this a few years ago. Bionano Genomics, I think is its name. BNGO. And so, pretty low price, less than $3. Low volume, small market cap. So, yeah, I don't know. Definitely more risky in that sense. But I thought, we could look at that. With the gap resistance being around $3.50, which I'll highlight in a second in the chart. And so that would be a 27% increase. And yeah, so let's look at Bionano Genomics. All right, so this is the, I'm going to take a step back, look at the monthly. Okay, so from this, we are at 275, the lowest that it has ever been. Is 250. So we're pretty close to the all-time low, and we're definitely broke through whatever support that might have been. So really, there's no support there. I'm just going to put a horizontal line to mark what the all-time low was. And yeah, I mean, we've gone down to 261. Take a step back, look at the weekly. Yeah, so we're over here, just above what is probably not support, but maybe it will turn into support. And yeah, what was the? I think I was just thinking resistance, 350. So 350. Let's see. Where did I see that? Maybe on the monthly. Nope. $5. Let's see, where's this 350? Oh, that's probably just, like this little shelf that's over here, so 350. That's kind of a lazy one because it's above some of the candles. So if I just do it on the base of this candle, that seems like a reasonable area for it to go to. Maybe this minor support is now resistance. No idea. But yeah, I don't see any gaps going up for a while. So, there's this gap here that filling that would be 1074, 1073. So yeah, I mean, if it were to fill that gap, that would be really nice. But I don't want to. I guess I'm a little concerned I'd be holding on to it for too long, or just be some crazy volatility getting thrown into this for it to go up that high. But yeah, I think considering that would be a 27% gain. That would be up. That would be nice. So I don't want to be too greedy. Want to be able to move on to the next trade. But yeah, actually, I don't have a position in this one, so it doesn't really matter. Because yeah, let's I'll go through all of these and we can see which ones are most appealing as far as the buy criteria. Actually, I'm just gonna scroll over. Who cares? Let's see. So with BNGO, the confidence is like 44%, and so actually like the highest of these is only 48%. But there's something that stood out to me. Covered call is $1, so it's a considerable, it's a really big drop in the price. That's a monthly, so I think it's gonna be October 20th, and yeah, so I don't really think that's it seems like it's a little bit risky, and so I don't know that it's worth it. But then you can look at let's see, the reward if it were to go to the 52-week high, that would be a huge gain. But it's going to be really risky. Yeah, the high target for analysts is 10x, so that's pretty crazy. Yeah, the min's still above. So But yeah, so now let's go on to Beyond. Is it Beyond Burger, Beyond Meats, whatever it is? That's current price $8.26, with a gap up to around $14.30. Would be a 70% gain, so that's pretty nice. So $14.37. Let's look over here. Beyond Meat, $14.30. Yeah, so that'll be this one up here. It's a pretty big jump to get up there for that gap fill. But yeah, what's possible support? We do see that the RSI is almost 20, below 30, and then 32 on the weekly. So seems like it's pretty oversold. Let's see, monthly is not looking like there's anything useful. Yeah, so we've the lowest stock's ever been is 790. So basically where we're at right now, not much higher. So yeah, this is an all-time low. So is this a good time to buy? I have no idea. It could go way lower. But the RSI does suggest that it's oversold. So maybe there's a little bit of a bounce. Maybe not all the way up to 14. Let's see. I couldn't find any gaps in candles on the daily. Oh, well. Yep. No, it's one of 1440. So let's see. Could I do the hour? Maybe there's a gap in the hourly. Nothing's standing out to me. Yeah, so I don't know. Probably rather than going up all the way up to 14, a more realistic would probably be 10. I mean, that makes sense. Looks like that served as support. It's a psychological level, $10, double digits. So yeah, I mean, if I put a line there, let's do a live calculation for this. So let's say if the target was 10, and actually we'll see how this factors into the calculation. So right now this is 47% confidence as far as a buy goes. If I change this to 10, bullshit. I thought I unprotected these cells. So let's see. Unprotect. Okay, so if I change this to 10, yeah, so that changes things. Changes things over here. So what was that? As far as 47, change this to 10. Bumps up Bionano Genomics a lot. Yeah, 40%. Yeah, so that's. I mean, I'd say I feel more confident in it going up to 10 than 14 for sure. So yeah, definitely just like psychologically, that's a much more significant level, a very significant level. So yeah, I'm less intrigued by that stock. But also another thing that I didn't like about Beyond was the analyst's lowest price target, $3. It's a drop of over 60%. So that makes me a little questionable of that. There are 15 analysts looking at it. It's possible they're all garbage. Who knows? But also I think it's interesting too. If we're going into a recession, and you have the choice of eating meat that's cheaper than fake meat, you're probably going to buy the meat. It's when times are good, you can say, oh, I'd rather not eat an animal. I'd rather try this Beyond Burger. And so right now, I feel like people are trying to be saving money a little bit, So I don't know that fake meat is really the best thing, although good intentions, but yeah. Let's see, and I'll go to Chegg, which current price around $8, gap up to $9.50. Over 10% gain, and so $9.50 is probably resistance there, but yeah, let's look at that one. Let's see, $9.50. Let's see. Yeah, so you can see that's right around what's the moving average? 50-day moving average is $9.75. But yeah, if we look at like 950, a target right around here, and has it been lower? I don't think it's really been much lower. You do see the RSI is below 28 on the daily. Weekly, it's 32, so getting pretty close there. But yeah, let's see, I'll put a horizontal line here as well. And so, that's kind of the range that would be in. And yeah, there's also this like giant gap here, which is kind of troubling. It's a giant gap. So, maybe that would be something, a target for it to go to, but you probably have to hold it a lot longer. So, this seems like a reasonable trade if it works out. Let's see, EVgo. I'm not particularly interested in this one, but I did get an alert on it. I thought I'd look at it. Let's see, has it been lower? No, it has not. So, just put a horizontal line there to mark that there's probably no support. And 950, let's see, where's that go to? 950. That's a pretty big jump. That is a pretty big jump. I don't know. I feel like it would bump into resistance before going all the way up to 950. What the hell, man? I don't even know if that's... It's not that. Let's see. Yeah, where the hell did I see 950? Is this daily? You don't see a 950 gap. For EVgo, did I read that wrong? 350. Okay, 350. What's wrong with me? Let's see, it's probably this. No, there's another gap. Yeah, I'd say that the gap here is probably 375. Let's say 375. See how that adjusts things. All right, and yeah, so that's basically what I see with EVgo. Similar to ChargePoint, so not necessarily that appealing to me in that sense, but yeah, something to popped up in an alert. I thought I'd look at it. Okay, Ford. Current price is $12. Gap up would be to fill towards 1370, and yeah, so let's look at that. Has it been lower? Yeah, it looks like it's been lower. Let's see if we can draw some support under it. This is 2008. So let's see if there's a trend line that can. And by the way, I haven't really done any analysis on these. I'm just doing it live, so it's possible this will look good. Possible it won't. I have no idea. I like that one. Actually, I could probably be tighter with it. Maybe this base. I mean, I don't know if it's, acted as support or this is just coincidence. Let's see, could this be adjusted some? Yeah, I could. Let's do it from that guy. And yeah, so maybe that's support. So maybe it could come down more. Also, let's see, where's that? What's that line look like over here? Oh man. It'll show up on the monthly, show up on the weekly, but not the daily for some reason. Oh, probably because Yeah, so I'll actually put it there. See how that looks on the daily. Ah, man, yeah. Just completely disappears. Oh, there we go. Can't zoom out enough. It goes back way too far in time. But yeah, let's just, yeah, I guess let's just take a look and see how it's respected. Yeah, so yeah, look at that. All of this time above that trend line. Then it comes down, doesn't really bounce. Just breaks through it. And you know, seems to kind of dance around it for a little bit. Support now. Look at where we're at. So, you know, it could come down more. We'll see. Maybe to like, I don't know, 1080. So I could drop a decent amount. But yeah, what's the target that I had for this? 1370. Where is that gonna be? Probably this gap. No, there's gonna be a smaller one here. 1370. Let's see the high, or sorry, the low. 1370. The high for this candle. 1365. So this is a gap here. So I'll put a little horizontal line there to mark that. So that would be the target. Yeah, kind of tough to say. It'd have to break above the moving average, 50-day moving average, to get up there. So it's below that right now. The RSI is above 40 on the daily and above 40 on the weekly. So, you know, it's not really in the buy zone. But maybe it's something to keep an eye on over the next week, see what happens with it. And yeah, and then so the next one, this is one I'm excited about, Hycroft Mining. I've been following the stock for, I guess, like a year and a half, something like that. And yeah, current price is 28 cents. And it's actually lower, closed lower than 28 cents, which is the lowest it's ever closed a week on. I'm not sure. It's possible that during the week it closed lower than it closed on Friday. I believe so. But yeah, it's at a very low time. Also, there's some news coming up. I guess I'll go over the chart and stuff, and then I'll get into that. But yeah, the gap up would be to 34 cents. So let's take a look at the chart to see Hycroft Mining. And so, yeah, we had previously had the low of like 28 cents here. And so, yeah, it's actually, yep, excuse me. So we're, you know, let's see, we're below that now. So I don't know if, you know, that prior low is going to serve as resistance. It's going to have a tough time getting above that. But yeah, let's see, where's 34? I feel like I was just thinking, you know, the bottom. Oh, no. Maybe this up here. 34, this. Yeah, I guess, you know, these candles here looks like right around there is the target. But yeah, there's some news with this stock that, you know, I think is pretty important. And so I'll go over that and then come back to the chart, I guess. Let's see. I have this from my Twitter account. So this is just a screenshot that I took from, I believe, a link that either the CEO or the company, their Twitter account, posted. And so I had watched, they had a YouTube video on a Straight Talk. They just, you know, kind of open it up questions to viewers, investors. And one of the questions was about the possibility of a reverse split because the stock's been trading at below $1 for a while. And there's, you know, a rumor that it could be, you know, delisted if it doesn't hit the $1 minimum requirement, delisted from the NASDAQ. And so they shared this announcement that I'll just read it, but regarding that. And so on October 4th, so I guess that was like Wednesday, they said that Hycroft announces that, as anticipated, today it received a notice from NASDAQ indicating the company's shares would be delisted on October 12th, so that's Wednesday of this coming week, due to non-compliance with NASDAQ's minimum bid price requirement as set forth in NASDAQ's listing rule. This one. However, the delisting process will be stayed and the company's stock will continue to trade if the company requests a hearing before the NASDAQ hearings panel. So no later than October 10th. So October 10th is Tuesday, day 2 of the week. And so the company intends to file its hearing request on October 9th. So I'd expect to get some news either via Twitter or maybe their YouTube channel, just their website, regarding this request for hearing to maybe get an extension. And so I think, maybe the stock will be a little bit flat, waiting to find out about that. And yeah, I mean, if they don't get an extension and they have to do a reverse split to keep the stock's price above $1, and reverse splits the stock prices tend to go down from what I've seen. So I don't have a position in Hycroft. I have in the past. But yeah, the chart's really interesting. I need to go to that. That's actually why I exited, because I saw this parallel channel. I don't know if you can see it looking at that, but let's see, looking maybe from this high here, highs here, and let's see, that low there. It's been trading in this channel for a while. I'm going to actually tweak this a little bit. I just want to have all of the candles close within there. And let's see. Yeah, so that to me, looks like a channel. We've broken below this all-time low. Just doesn't look that great to me. It looks like it's going to go down further, especially if there's going to be a news on a reverse split, maybe 10-1. I don't know. Put this up to like $2.80. But then, the price will go down, I imagine, following that. And so, I could see this going down to 20 cents, whether maybe that's $2 after a reverse split. But yeah, I could see this going down a lot. And from my experience holding a stock, trading it, and having made money doing that, I believe on one of these candles over here, I was holding it and I recognized, hey, it looks like it's in this parallel channel going down. And there's a possibility of, a reverse split in October, likelihood, because it's not close to $1. And so I sold there at a small profit and decided not to get back in because it's still in this channel, making all-time lows. And so if there is a reverse split, I think it's going to go lower. RSI is currently above 30, whether that's on the daily or the weekly. So yeah, I think this could go lower. I think it likely will go lower. So I'm waiting to establish any sort of position in it. But, I've been successful with it in the past, so, hopefully I can continue that. And yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to show with that stock. And so we'll move on to, let's see, my spreadsheet, which the next one is going to be MindMedicine. I've also made a little bit of money trading this one, but by a little bit, I don't mean that much, I mean a little bit. But yeah, it looks like, we're not at the all-time lows, so that's nice. Those will be down here. Looks like there was a recent bounce, so maybe support was established going from over here to the lows there. I'm going to adjust this a tiny bit. Cool. Yeah, so maybe that's support there. And let's see, what's the gap that I saw with this 380? So probably up here. Yeah, that's just, there's a bounce here. It served as resistance over here. It looks like there's a little bit of a bounce here, but it also didn't break through the level here. So I feel like this is a good target. Maybe, at the bottom, base of that candle. But yeah, who knows? I might be completely wrong with this. I don't have a position in it. And it's not at its it is potentially bouncing here at the support, maybe establishing support there with that bounce. The daily RSI is now above 30, but wasn't, let's see, a few days ago. It was 26. Weekly, it's above 30. So, yeah, I don't know. Do what you want with that. And the next one, this is actually, I think, the more intriguing on this list. But I don't know that I'm going to partake in it. And another thing I should note about MindMedicine is 52-week range. It's about 30% higher than the low, so there's potential drop there, so somewhat risky in that sense. But yeah, I'll go over to, I think it's NextEra Energy. Price is about $50, and I believe the options, the max pain for next week is $50, so that'd be going down a little bit from its current price. But I do see that there's looks like a gap around $57. So let's look at that. 57. So yeah, that's very clear here. Yep. So that would be the gap to fill. And I don't know what I found interesting about this one. I think the criteria of the RSI being below 30. It's at 1745. It's been low. Had this nice, these candles. I forget what kind of doji that is or whatever. But those tails to me suggest that maybe there's a bottom in there. Actually, I'll put a little line there. Not sure. Is this the lowest it's ever been? No. No. Yeah, but it does look like this, monthly candle came down. So maybe this is better positioned on this point there. Oh, yeah, the thing that alerted me to this is I had, this wick that was over here. I had an alert set for 51.81, which is the high for that month. And yeah, we crossed it. And so it looks like, maybe this is starting head and shoulders on the month. Yeah, so, really, this, I don't know how to do like a proper head and shoulders in Webull, but, it seems like, we could be going a good amount lower. Maybe that would complete this shoulder. Yeah, so, is it a head and shoulders going with this being the neckline, or I'll change the color of this one to red. Maybe that's the neckline, and we got lower to go. Especially, on the monthly. Has the monthly ever been? Yeah, monthly has been pretty low. Yeah, I don't know. This is one that scares me a little bit. But yeah, I was just intrigued that it came down to this candle wick, but it did go below it. Yeah, so even looking at the weekly, yeah, I think that this could come down to 40, and that makes, 50 seems like a good level for it to hold, but with these two, Yeah, I mean, I need to change the candle style so it shows hollow. Okay. Yeah, so, yeah, it just has this 1 week that closed below the current level. So, yeah, that seems a little questionable. But then the final one that's on this list is going to be square or block, which this one was pointed out to me, I believe, also by Gareth Soloway. Yeah, I wonder if because of the movie The Creator, I wonder if I referred to him as Gareth Edwards before. That'd be funny if I did. But yeah, whatever. So yeah, square block, I should say. Current price around $44. Gap up to around $47.50. It's a smaller gain than the other ones, smallest gain out of all of them. But yeah, so $47.50 is what I'm looking at. That daily below 30. Let's see, has it ever been this low before? No. So I'll put a horizontal line there. Maybe that's significant. And I said 47. Yes, probably this little gap there. Yeah, so that's potentially where it could go to. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I have. So yeah, let's look back at the spreadsheet, and I'm just going to go over all of these factors that go into the buy criteria, and yeah, so based on the potential upside, the target gap fills, whatever resistance. 27, almost 28% with Bionano Genomics. So that's the most intriguing from that respect. Risk to reward, that almost the best, actually the best as far as lowest risk will be CHGG, but as far as reward, definitely the best, Bionano Genomics. RSI, let's see, do any of them, yeah, NextEra Energy, that's the only one with both below 30, the daily and the weekly. But yeah, I'd be a little concerned that, let's see, on the weekly, that this is still forming that. Let's see if I can draw it on here with a pencil. I don't do this very often. Drawing tool. Okay, I'll do this in purple. And so, yeah. Oh. Maybe it would look something like that. It didn't end up being purple. Oops. Yeah, anyways, I'm not good at drawing with this. You guys get the idea. But yeah, I'll just, rather than drawing a big thing, yeah, here. I screwed up the first one, I think. What the fuck? Yeah, I suck at drawing this shit. Let's see. Maybe I can get better at doing this. So, color there. So, I don't know why I'm screwing up the color. That's terrible. All right. But yeah, so coming back to the spreadsheet, let's see. Shorts and covered calls. So the one with the most short interest is Beyond Burgers. So let's look at that chart. This is the weekly. Yeah, I mean it's pretty low. Yeah, I mean, is there anything happening over here that maybe it's getting ready to jump out? see if I do an array from this point to this point. No. Maybe from that one. This is not going to be useful. No idea. Maybe over here. No, I'm just going to delete that. I don't think there's anything good there. Oh, that's weekly, though. On the weekly, so maybe there's something on the daily. No, just doesn't look good. But, yeah, maybe. Let's see. No. I'm fishing. Yeah, that's all crap. All right. Come back to the spreadsheet. Let's see. Days to cover. Yeah, some of the ones that have weekly call or monthly call options, not as interesting because you can only be making money once a month on covered calls. The one that's like cheapest, just like the lowest price, these green ones, it's going to be, oh, I screwed the math up here. Oh, wait, no. 100, yeah, this is definitely the cheapest one. Hycroft, especially compared to NextEra Energy and Block. You'd have spent a lot of money to get 100 shares of those. And then Max Payne's, the one that's, I guess, most appealing is MindMedicine, because they'll be going up more than doubling the price. But yeah, I don't know how much weight you want to put on that. Analysis, Hycroft didn't have any analysis. Min target for Beyond, I mentioned that as a concern. It's one with the most potential for gain. Oh, this should say max up here. Min. Yeah, so that's MindMedicine or Bionano Genomics. Pretty high gains, but there's going to be risk with those. And then as far as the buy confidence goes, it looks like I'm most confident in Bionano Genomics, followed by NextEra Energy. So I'll note these. Let's see. This. Just gonna highlight those as blue, and yeah, we can look at this next week and see if any of these were good ideas. Really, like as far as my confidence goes, looking at the charts, I don't think I want to buy any of these. I think I just want to wait and see what happens over the next week. But as far as these four that I'm holding, I'm most intrigued by ChargePoint. I think that has some nice potential to go up. My confidence is pretty high based, really I think a lot of it comes down to the RSI and, being lower than that and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued by that one. But as of right now, American Airlines and Chewy are performing the best. And yeah, so, we'll see what happens with these over the next week. I'll probably be holding these, I imagine, for at least a couple months. And, I think I'm going to stay on the sidelines as far as these stocks go. But yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on them. And so with that, I'm just going to come back to, this thumbnail screen. If you did watch this entire video, if you enjoyed hanging out, thanks for, oh man, you can't see this. Thanks for hanging out. It was fun. And so I'm going to try to do this every single week on Sundays at 9 p.m. Eastern, really just to be doing this for myself because I find this to be helpful, keep myself accountable, and be exploring ideas like, what's on this list here. And I should also note that, in this list, I didn't include Bionano Genomics, and I didn't include MindMedicine. I think because based on how I formatted this, I didn't have enough room for them. And, they're just lower size, market cap, lower volume. And so I didn't think, the best to include on here. But also I should note that Hycroft mining has a market cap much lower than those, about half the size of MindMedicine. But there's a lot more volume. And yeah, I find that to be of these stocks that are listed up here, I'm most excited to add to my charge point position, and I am most excited. I'm actually gonna highlight it on this screen as well. Make this blue. Those are the ones I'm most interested in on this list for this week that I explored. I can't imagine I'll be holding any next week, but we can take a look at them again, see how this list has kind of evolved, and let's see. I haven't figured out the best mouse layout or the screen layout, but yeah, that's the stream. If you did enjoy this, if you're watching this at the end, I'm surprised. Most people don't watch things that I stream, so yeah, if this is helpful, let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you'd like to tune into this stuff weekly, and comment if you have any suggestions, whether that's ticker requests or just kind of critique of my thought process, my buy criteria. Do you think it's trash? But yeah, that's something that I hope to develop and to be developing live on a weekly basis, because I think this is good for me as far as my trading plan, sticking to it, being accountable, and trying to make some of these. That's my goal. But we'll see what happens. And so yeah, I'm excited for the week. Monday, it should be an interesting week, as it usually is. And I hope that it's a good week for you, and I hope that I have some exciting stuff to share next week, Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. Thanks a lot for watching.